So here we thought this chapter of My Hero was going to reveal a dark little secret between Endeavour and Darby. There, unfortunately, was the one thing that we were kind of missing out of the chapter. Unfortunately, Horikoshi wants to tease us a little bit more with exactly that. And I love the fact that it's like, immediately with this whole chat, it's like, who is that man? And all that, my vision is like all like blurry and all that. I can't really make out his face and all that. He's just like, well, you know who I am and all that. The League of Villains, like Darby. That's who I am, like, for the most part. And deciding to immediately like showcase off his powers by just making this ginormous just flame just like enshroud like Endeavour and Hawks, and he was there just to pretty much show off. Like, he was there putting up a wall of flames and all that, and it's just like Todoroki having massive PTSD of like just remembering him from last time when he saw him and all that, and just seeing like when he knew his name, when he was like, why, like, you know, exactly did he know like exactly who I was called and all that, with like when you're saying talking to like Todoroki, and it's like, what the hell and all that, and it's just like Hawks is immediately like, I need to like take care of this already and all that, like you need a rest and all that, I'll take care of them. But like Darby's like, well, you know, who would thought and all that to take down, like, you know, the top two heroes and all that, but when they're both on their death's door, then I can have some fun. And he just goes charging in with his fire, and like Hawks is there, like, he's like, I ain't got a lot of I ain't got a left out on my wings here to use his power, so I'm pretty burnt out, but I've just got to do something. And then good old Bunny Girl like just comes in, slapping and all that, and it's just like, and of course she was just like, and all that, I was like, oh, like, I just hopped right in, and I'm like, if I remember, she was like one in the, like, the top 10 heroes for the most part. I kind of do forget her name for the most part, but I'm like, I had to remember her now because she's pretty bait, and like, I'm not gonna lie, she was jacked as fuck like that. I was gonna say, like, she's immediately like, when we see her come in, no problem with like de-elevating this situation, as she just slams in, ready for action. Like, you can tell the kind of person she is, where she's just like, I'm ready, let's go and all that. And just like, I think her name was Mirako, like, I believe that was like kind of her name and all that, like kind of like glancing back on a little bit on the chapter, and immediately like Darby's like, just when things were getting, you know, good and all that, alright, let's get out of here and all that. And he's just like, see you later, number one hero and all that, I'll have another chance to talk with you. But, you know, he is just screaming, he's just like, you know, break a leg out there, Todoroki Enji, like that, you know, let's just, you're gonna kick the bucket and all that, like, and all that, like, you know, you don't be doing that until I see you again, like that. And Mirako just like goes boom, straight out boot. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like, she was just like, nah, screw this, fighting, kicking, like, she was all going straight in, and like, she was like, oh man, really, like that. And she's like, what the hell is this stuff, it's stinking. Like, I was like, man, I want to know more about you. Like, if anything, My Hero has like a bunch of characters that obviously that we see every, like, once or twice, or even some of the new introductions of the characters, like, man, I would rather see something with you. I know, like, we've got the Vigilante spin-off and no one really talks about it, so I'm guessing nothing really too much happens in that. Like, in that one, I know there's like pre-Endeavour like Stain in there and stuff like that, and you do see some of the other characters, but like definitely with some of the characters in here, it's like, man, I would like just to know about you. And I know sometimes when you have like the volumes, they show like the little bios, or they show like some of the characters and all that, saying this is what they kind of do when they're like in their casual stuff and like that, this is what they're kind of up to. So that's sort of like the little bit of information we get sometimes, where it's like, man, I want to know about you, let me know about what the hell you've been doing, give me a chapter or two with you, and like, let's try and understand you. But when this chapter gets interesting is the Hawks segment. Hawks approaches Darby, they're in some very dark, secluded little area, and he's like, that ain't what we planned, Darby, and all that, I was hoping we'd be getting better a lot. He's there with a blade to Darby's throat, well, like, seemingly conjured out of his wings and all that, and he's like talking even about this, where it's like, I thought you only had weak feathers left and all that, and he's just saying, well, I can't really meet a liar unarmed. He's like, that's not what we planned. The plan was for tomorrow at the factory and all that, not in the middle of the goddamn city. Not to mention, you lied about that Nomu. It was on a different level from the other ones we've seen thus far and all that. So, if you're gonna start pulling shit like that with me, Darby, tell me in advance. Like that, and he's like, I changed my mind. Did I forget to mention that there would be a little test with the Nomus? My bad on that. You know, I'm so sorry, but, you know, I wasn't the only one that acted outside the plan, though, and all that. You said you'd send some random strong guy, but sending the #1 hero doesn't exactly make for a good test and all that. Did you not think that ever occurred to you at all and all that? It's like, well, look. At the like, he's like, look, you did serious damage to Endeavor and all that, and I ain't broken my promise and all that. I ain't even gone back on my word at all and all that. And it's just like, look, this is just to hear so we can test and all that, see if you're trustworthy or not and all that, and saying, you know, and you know, today's event had like got resolved with no deceased and all that. It'd be hard to believe someone who really sympathizes with our cause and all that, and yeah, well, it's a little bit hard to trust you a little bit, Hawks, and all that, and it's just like, I've got to keep up appearances, man. Like, I can't afford to lose the faith that's been placed to me as a hero, and also, I do sympathize with you guys, I really do, and all that. You should be looking at the big picture here, like, everything I do is for the League Derby and all that. Well, and he's like, I'm still gonna not let you meet the boss for the time being, but we'll talk to you, Hawks. So, I was like, wait, what? Hawks is like, the #2 hero is like fucking in league with like the villains, and it's like, no. He's a fucking double agent. Like, a lot of the chats would be like, holy shit, he's a traitor. You're like, and end the chapter there. But we've got a bit with Hawks talking about where it's like, he's talking to some of the top brass, and they're saying like, we need every information that we get on the league, on the league at all, and all that. We need there and all that, and we can't be repeating our past errors and all that. And he's like, you need to get into like that. We need to know about their powers and all that. We need to know about this organization. We need every information that who are the members, what are their powers, what, like, you know, what's the structure working on that. And Hawks said something interesting. Is like, you're telling me to just ignore all of the victims they'll create while I'm not trying to like butter them up, like trying to win them over. And it's just like, and showing that the people there is just like, yeah, like he does it with a little bit of regret in his face, but it's like, we're asking this of you because we believe that you're the one that's up to the task. Like, we think that you're the one that might be able to get on there. It's like, you're not concerned with fame or prestige. You focus on the long-term goal and take action accordingly and all that. We feel that out of everyone, out of the, like, all of the heroes and all that, we're like, at least the ones that we think are strong enough to handle this out of the, like, probably the top 10, you're probably the most suitable for the job and all that. And, like, there was an interesting part where like it ends off with Darby, like as like, you know, he's there like seeing like Hawks there, like meeting Endeavor in like a hospital room, just completely bandaged and fucked up and all that. And like you see Darby, who's like, oh yeah, they were mentioning that Snatch guy, right? Yeah, that sand dude that met. He's just like there, like just staring out in the distance and all that, and like pushing on like his like real like old like mangled like skin, and he's like, I fought so hard about it, I went crazy like that. And he's just like bleeding out from like that like dead bit of skin or whatever that is, like he's like got strapped all onto him. And that's the end of the chapter, and I'm like, huh. So that's very much an interesting thing that we left off with Darby and Hawks and Endeavor. Like, I was surprised that it was like an entire chapter just dedicated to them. Like, it was something very interesting. And the fact that it's like Hawks just out of nowhere, where it's like immediately it's like, wait, what, you're a villain? Like that, and it's like, no, you were actually a double agent. And now they're seeing like how this can bite someone in the ass, because what happens when Hawks get a scenario where he's like, do I do it the information? Or am I going to be branded as a traitor? Like, what, like, you know, what's going to be happening? And also as well, what Hawks really thinks about this, because at the moment, like, he is seemingly doing it for the long-term goal and all that, and how we talk to him and all that as well, with like the little bit that we've gotten to know about him. But what more does especially Hawks want to do on there? Because like, what is like the, you know, epitome of like being a hero to him, or like what exactly he wants to do in this world? And it's like, definitely out of all of the brand new characters that we got introduced when we saw a lot of those new heroes and all that, he's definitely the most interesting, and obviously the one we've had the most time to spend with. And like his powers as well as interesting with his feathers, that he can like give it to other people, use the support, he can carry them, they're heavy as hell, like, you can use them in swords and stuff. Like, he definitely like is like, this is someone that's like clearly high caliber like hero, like he can do with his abilities. It's just how clever he is with like some of that stuff. But the stuff with Darby and all that is like, so thought honestly with this chapter we was going to get a reveal with that whole thing. And I know obviously there's been some fan outcry because of that. Like, some people were like giving death threats to the fucking author. I'm like, are you serious? It's like, it's his story they wants to fucking tell and all that. It's like, and it's the same shit that we got when it was like the Naruto like whole pairing war shit that happened and all that. So like it really just like got on my nerves with some of that stuff on there. Like definitely like it just pissed me off. But I really did like this chapter, so I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below and all that, what you thought about this one. But honestly, like, so much and all that to like really, it's just like I felt like to digest with this chapter, and especially we're getting a color color page next week and all that, and like definitely a real interesting time to, I think, like to pick up back up on Academia. So I cannot wait for that. But that is all from me though. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.